Okay, we should be good. All right, so what do we do for this problem? Any ideas? Yes. You. Okay, 50 divided by 5. Okay, so $50 divided by 5 hours is $10 per hour. Okay, and you need units on it. Okay, so I won't often give you a problem to try unless I think it's something that you should be able to figure out. I tried to give you an easy one just to see how y'all did with it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with some examples. So I will do examples as like out of the homework problems. Okay, I'll do even ones and give you guys odd ones to do for homework. So we're going to start with number 12. All right, so for these ones, it says to identify the property that the statement illustrates. Okay, so for these ones, you just have to say the property that comes from it. So 12 is 15 times 1 is equal to 15. So refer back to your properties from your notes and see if we can figure out what property are we using here. What does that look like? Yes. Yes. All right, so that one is identity. Okay. Okay, and it's the identity prop of multiplication. Okay. You need to have all of it. I need to find my sticky note. Okay. Next, we are going to do number 16, so same section, same instructions. 6 times 5 times 7 is equal to 6 times 5 times 7. So how about the property for this one? What does that look like? Yes, okay, associative property of multiplication. Okay, normally you can like abbreviate these. Okay, so identity you can do is like ID. Just please make sure with associative that you don't stop after 3 letters. Okay, I'm sure you can see why. I always go out to the C. Just make that a habit if you're going to abbreviate it. Okay, property of multiplication. All right, any questions about recognizing the properties? I mean, we're going to do more with it, but not this specific type. Does everybody understand the properties when I was talking about them? Do they make sense? Have you seen them before? Maybe? Okay. All right, so number 18. So now we're moving down, so we're going to use the properties and definitions to show that the statement is true, and we're going to justify each step. Okay, this is going to be like a geometry proof, kind of. Okay, so 15 times 3 divided by B is equal to 45 divided by B. Yes, so we're going to do each step and explain how we get that answer. Don't worry, we are going to go over it. Distribute is, well, sort of. So because we have that division sign in there, it does make it a little different. Okay. What? I was like, I have no idea what you mean. Okay, yeah, technically, there you go. You paid attention. Division technically does not exist. Okay? So, the first thing, if we're dividing, what are we really doing? Okay, multiplying by the inverse. So, the very first thing we are going to do is we're going to rewrite this, okay? And we're trying to get to the right side. So everything you do, you're going to do on the left side, okay? So you're going to work your way down, and we're just going to justify it over here. We ultimately want to look like this. All right, so the first thing we have is 15 times, and then still in parentheses, 3 times 1 over b. Okay? Down goes the book. That happens a lot. Batteries too. Oh well. This book is really too big for the desk, so it doesn't work very well. Okay. All right, so there we go. We're going to try to keep that on the desk this time. All right. So this is the definition of division. Okay, and I'll do for definition DEFN. Okay, that's just how I abbreviate it. Of division. Okay, so that's step 1. Nope, we're not doing anything to the right side. The right side stays. Okay. Well, I can't multiply yet. I need to regroup. So if I want to move these parentheses over to the 15 and 3, I just want to move the parentheses over. What property am I using? Yep. You're good. Y'all can just, I don't really do the whole like raising your hand thing, just shout out answers. Okay, so this one is the associative property of multiplication. Okay, now I can multiply inside this parentheses, which is 45, and then I still have times 1 over b, and then the reason would just be multiplication. And I know these seem weird now, but I promise they do get easier. All right, next step. So we want to undo because we want it to look like this right side. Okay, so I need to undo what I had done up here. Okay, so by the definition of division, then I can just rewrite this as 45 divided by b. So the definition works both directions. Okay, and now that matches what I had here, so I'm done. Okay. And no, you don't have to justify everything in this class. It's like this section and maybe one other section that you have to do this for. Okay, any questions about this problem specifically at this moment? No, we're good. Okay, now I have to get back to the page that I was on. No, this should be like the only section, maybe one other section that you have to explain stuff like this. All right, let's try 22. My marker's on the floor. Okay. Yes. What? Oh, page 6. All right, so 22, we have 12b plus 15 minus 3b is equal to 15 plus 9b. Yes. Same instructions as the last one. Yes. Can't do that yet. Can't do that yet. What is the real thing that I'm doing if I'm subtracting? Okay, I'm adding the inverse. So I am going to rewrite this as 12b plus 15 plus negative 3b. Okay, and that's just the definition of subtraction. These next steps get a little weird, just warning you. Okay, and so there is some flexibility with like the order of the steps, okay? I don't grade like super hard on these explaining ones because I know there's different ways that they could be done, so don't like stress out about them too much. Alright. So then the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to flip these. Okay? So what allows me to flip them? Yep, commutative property allows me to flip them. Commutative property of addition. Okay, and also if you just want to write like for addition, like a plus sign, and for multiplication, like your little X, you can do that. Yep, so now I'm going to do associative, okay, to move the parentheses over to these two things. So 15 plus, in parentheses, 12b plus negative 3b. And that's associative of addition. And then now what? Yep. Okay. 15 plus 9b. Looks like what I was looking for. Okay, and we would say there that we combine like terms. Yes, you did it. Alright, alright, I want you guys to try one. So, and I'm going to come around and look at it. 19, c minus 3 plus 3 is equal to c. Okay, so only do stuff on the left side, justify your steps, and no, this is just like an in-class, just like do it on your paper, and I'll come check it in a second. Yes. Another marker down. Four. There are 4. No, there's like 4 in addition to that one. We'll go over it, don't worry. Did anybody get 4 steps? Okay. All right. Yeah, I did. I froze it. Well, I didn't pause the video, but I froze so you couldn't see my work. All right, what is the first thing I need to do? Can't do that yet. Okay, definition of subtraction. Okay, I need to rewrite that as plus a negative 3. Huh? Because we need to explain what this is first, because we don't technically have a property of subtraction. So that's why we need to do that first. All right, how about the next step? Yep. Okay, associative property. Now I can move it over. What's next? But you had 4 steps. What's your 3rd step? Yes, that could work too. Okay, the inverse property. Okay, so that's the one of a plus negative a is equal to 0. So that's essentially what just happened there. So that's what you technically should have. Okay, but if you said combining like terms, like I said, I'd be flexible about that. And last step. Okay, the last step is the identity. So we get to C. All right, so we were going to keep going because there's a little bit more in this section that we need to go over, but because I forgot that we were going to have to cover finish going over the worksheet thing from the other day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you the ones based on what we've covered, okay, which is only 3 problems. Okay, so you should be able to finish that because we do still have like 20 minutes. Okay, but because I know some of these are going to take a little longer, we're going to go ahead and do that. If everybody happens to finish, we might go over a couple more. There will be a video sometime after 6th period for you to watch. Does anybody have a study hall during the day that you want to be able to watch this during your study hall?